This year, things are different. There are no parades, no large gatherings, no services for laying a wreath. But still, we remember.
Le souvenir est fondamental pour définir d'où je viens, qui je suis et où je m'en vais.
I respect Remembrance Day
because it's such an important date and such an important time.
C'est important de se souvenir.
Not just one single day, November 11.
Le 11 du 11e mois à 11 heures.
I think it's more than just saying thank you for your service.
It's also about the human side and not just the faceless soldier side.
Remembrance Day, I just think about
Passchendaele,
Omaha Beach,
Juno Beach.
Ce qu'on a fait pour les autres pays.
400,000 people took part in D-Day.
La guerre de Corée.
Hill 187.
Stabilization in Congo.
Qu'est-ce qui est arrivé en Haïti?
The children of Afghanistan.
The genocide that lasted 100 days.
For me, it's to remember the fallen.
Toutes les camarades avec qui j'ai combattu.
I remember my husband, Corporal Bryce Keller.
J'ai le capitaine Nicolas Godard dans mon cœur.
Jean-Guy, mon ami.
Caporal-chef Byron Gruff.
The families and the civilians and the people who have to deal with war in the places we've been.
I remember World War I veterans when I was growing up.
I remember Chinese Canadian in World War II.
Ces gens-là ont fait des choses qui sont extraordinaires.
They're the heroes. They gave their life.
La raison pourquoi je suis ici, la raison pourquoi je porte cet uniforme, vient de ce qui a été fait par mes prédécesseurs.
We have what we have in Canada today is thanks to our forefathers who have gone before us.
I'm not a hero, I'm a survivor.
Pour ces gens-là, ça vaut la peine de se souvenir puis de montrer du respect envers eux.
Le souvenir continue de me propulser, de me motiver et de me convaincre d'accomplir la mission qui m'est assignée.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to St. Paul's Remembrance Day Assembly. Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue à notre cérémonie annuelle du jour d'armistice. This year's Remembrance Day Assembly looks a bit different, but the purpose is the same. We're here to acknowledge the courage and sacrifice of those who have served our country. At St. Paul's Intermediate, we believe Remembrance Day is one of the most important days of the year. Le jour de souvenir est un des jours les plus importants de toute l'année.
How can you show that you remember? You can post on social media using a hashtag like Remembrance Day or Canada Remembers. You can observe 2 minutes of silence at 11 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. You can thank a veteran for their service to our country. You can buy and wear your poppy. You can watch a live stream of a Remembrance Day event. You can color a poppy and post it in your window for everyone to see. You can thank a Canadian Forces member. You can watch a movie or documentary to learn about the war. Or you can visit the Commonwealth War Graves Commission Cemetery located just outside of Gander. These are just some of the ways to show how we remember.
Hey everybody, my name is Terry Penney, and I've been told that you guys are going to be featuring a song of mine at your Remembrance Day Assembly, a song called Normandy in Newfoundland. And that's a song that I wrote about a World War II veteran from my hometown of Lewisport. His name was Leslie Guillen, and I'd seen this gentleman, you know, during my lifetime on a regular basis in just about town, and but I never knew really who he was or what his story was. And one day I was at a grocery store really early in the morning, and I noticed there was this elderly gentleman at the front of the store looking out through the big windows at the front of the store at the snow that was coming down. It was coming down in real big flakes and real kind of just gently drifting down. And he was there a long time, and after a while I started to get a bit worried about him, you know. I was starting to wonder if there might be something wrong. So I walked up to him, and he was kind of just staring out like he was in a trance. And I said, "Good morning, sir, how are you?" He said, "I was just in France." I didn't have a clue what he was talking about. I thought he might have just got back from a vacation or a trip. And I said, did you have a good trip? He said, no. He said, every time it snows like this with the big flakes coming drifting down, he said, it puts me right back to being overseas during the war. And right there in that deserted grocery store at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, he started unloading all these experiences and stories that he'd had overseas during World War II. And when he was a really young man. And I remember after 15 or 20 minutes of these stories, he decided, I think I better pick up my groceries now. I think I better move along. So as he was walking away, I remember saying to him, it must have been pretty scary being over there, at such a young age, going through all that. And he said, my son, I'll never forget what he said. He said, my son, I was afraid every minute that I was over there. Every minute that I was overseas, I was frightened. And that always stuck with me, And we became friends, and he lived with that for the rest of his life. He basically had PTSD, and back when he got out of the war, back in the 40s, there was no such thing as psychological help for all these veterans that were being discharged, and so he basically lived with it his whole life, and had a hard time dealing with it. And he told me, he said, I think about it every single day. There's not a day goes by that I don't think about being over there. And that's why I'm really careful come Remembrance Day and July 1st. Not just to remember the guys that didn't make it home, but the guys that did. Because the guys that made it home had to live with what they experienced for the rest of their lives. And sometimes that was 60 and 70 years, So you guys have a great assembly, and I hope you enjoy the song and the video, and stay safe. Take care.
He's staring out the window, moon is shining down, ghostly like the color of his hair. He doesn't see me, doesn't look around. It's like he isn't even there. I couldn't help but wonder what's been troubling the man. And so I asked his darling wife, and she said, well, he's still haunted by the fight, and it's Normandy and Newfoundland tonight. His memories dragged him back to a time when he was young, 1944, June the 21st. Fighting in France, hiding from the Huns, in some ruined Catholic church. Just beyond the walls of God was hell and blood and hate. And as the moon lit up the foreign sky, he heard himself say to a comrade, I wish Normandy was Newfoundland tonight. He said, overseas, friend, I've been there 1,000 times, fishing fearless, tiny boat adrift. But this overseas a different kind of thing. I'm frightened every moment that I live. Just beyond his window pane is hell and blood and hate. I see his face reflected by the light. And 60 years haven't killed what's in his eyes. It's Normandy in Newfoundland tonight. Normandy in Newfoundland tonight.
Every year, students at St. Paul's donate a piece of Halloween candy to our Treats for Troops program. The candy is packaged into bags with a note from us and is sent all over the world as a gift to Canadian Forces members who are serving away from home.
On top of the Treats for Troops programs, all this week we will be collecting donations for the Royal Canadian Legion Poppy Fund. When you make a donation for your poppy, the Legion collects all money and uses it to help veterans with all kinds of things, like medical needs, drop-in programs, and so much more. We'll be making a donation on half of the whole school, so please try to bring a few dollars to donate.
Our school is on McGee Road, which is named after John McGee Jr., a pilot officer in World War II. This poem, called High Flight, is a celebration of the joy of flying. McGee died at 19, not long after writing the poem. His lines are often engraved on the headstones of pilots and airmen who have died in service of their country.
Oh, I've slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter silvered wings.
Somewhere I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds,
and done 100 things you have not dreamed of, wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence.
Hovering there, I've chased the shouting winds along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air.
Up the long delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, where never lark or even eagle flew.
And, while with silent lifting mind I've trod the high unsurpassed sanctity of space, put my hand out and touched the face of God.
Please stand. Since the mid-19th century, the last post has been performed at funeral and military services for all who have given their lives in service of their nation. With the notes of the last post, a soldier is able to rest in peace.
They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eyes, steady in a glow.
They were staunch against the odds and the uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe.
They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn.
At the going down of the sun and in the morning we will remember them.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command, car ton bras sait porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix, ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you to all the students who took leadership roles in this morning's assembly. Merci aux élèves qui ont tenu un rôle clé dans notre cérémonie. Our ceremony for today is just about done, but I would like to encourage everyone to spend some time over the next few days remembering why we gathered virtually this morning. Remembrance Day is once a year, but we should always be thankful for the sacrifices that others have made so that we can be free. Lest we forget, n'oublions jamais.